The combinations of lines and shadows are so mysterious in here that I think it's intriguing because there's so much verticals in there, and then that stairway going down interrupts that whole idea. And chain links looks like crab pots all over the place. I love it.
Thank you.
I agree. Black and white is all about light and dark and shapes, and this is just the ability to see a beautiful spot where all of that is going on. That was really, really catching.
Thank you.
And I'll add to that I like the fact that there's a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. That's got depth to it. I can put my hand into it.
What's so surprising about this is the simplicity of it. It's excellently shot. The light is gorgeous. So somebody spent a ton of time getting the room right, the light right, but then just the simplicity and the it's funny. The volts being the word on the device really makes this whole picture because it just tells a story.
Thank you.
Well, and on top of that, the light bulb is screwed in to a water pipe and a water valve, and it just made me go crazy. I just love it because he's got the voltage there, and it's light and light, but it's the water flowing through it.
If you open up the valve, do the volts go up? Right? No, I agree with everything that everybody said here. It's the right amount of simplicity, and it tells a story.
Yeah, and I think the lighting and the shading, and the voltmeter being so very old, it puts it, gosh, way back in the 20th century.
Before they got electricity and plumbing sorted out.
What's really beautiful about this, of course, and is so important in landscape, is light. The light on the house is just gorgeous, including the light on the trees. So the person stood in the right place at the right time of day on a very stormy sky type of day that made this very moody, despite all that beautiful light. So I think it was just the composition with the light makes this really excellent.
I think the thing that captured me on this frame is this barren land in front and the trees pointing toward the household. I thought it was an incredible capture.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. The quality of light makes it here, especially the light on the trees. The only thing that bothers me a little bit about this is that stone in the lower left corner. Because you tend to read right to left, I kind of stopped there. I might tone that down just a wee bit. I like having something on that side because it's so barren otherwise, but
Who are we gonna charge? Jim, go
Jim.
over.
this one comes down to all about color and composition. I love the various shades of green with the yellow. I love how my eye moves through the frame. The steps are maybe a wee bit little hot, but doesn't take away from it. It's all about color and composition for me.
I like the geometry. There's all sorts of rectangles in there, little squares, and then I think the neat interrupting part is that yellow arc on that top, on top of the green, and then there's this other green goes away from it, and a wonderful blue sky. So it's a nice picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree on the geometry and the colors. I think the rose red color steps helped that, because otherwise you wouldn't have the dramatic dissonance in the colors, because you've got so many going on, and that really helps. But I do agree that you move through the picture nicely.
You got your reds and minus reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all cool, and then you've got a warm
Yeah.
color on the bottom and a warm color
Yeah.
on the top with the yellow.
Yeah, it's a good catch.
I think the composition really works. I like how it moves. Like, hate to say rule of thirds, right? Because there's exceptions to every rule, but I like how it moves through thirds from left to right and also from bottom to top. I also like the colors. I think the processing is appropriate for the image. I don't think it's too overdone, and I don't think it's too underdone.
Thank you. Next?
Okay, I think I like the vertical lines of the colored area, and it matches the pipe and the one board going up on the side, and it joins that top window. Then these nice strong horizontals that are going across that are kind of interrupting this paint and the rust. And really nice colors on that, really nice subdued colors.
Thank you. Next?
I agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily say that for me the colors were subdued because they popped for me. And that was what drew me to this picture. When you expect something decayed and dilapidated to be dull and dreary, this had so much life to it that it really was, had a lot of fascination for me, in addition to all the technical things that have been mentioned.
I think the fog has made this thing, and it betrays where the water level is because the reflections are and the water is so smooth. It has this constant line, these lines going up vertically, and you can just barely see how it curves away to the right. So I think it's a really nice capture.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that for me, what I was impressed by is how much effort it took to be there at the right place and the right time. It is gorgeous, and the lines, the straight lines and the curving line make it beautiful, and it's the processing of it just to keep that fog so soft is very beautiful.
Thank you.
Scott Dine always talks about impact, right? And this just really sets a mood. I mean, you feel a little chill, right? Just watching that. I can feel, a spring morning fog, whatever. It's about 40 degrees, that kind of stuff. You can just kind of feel the chill in the air there. It's all about mood. And the technical part of it speaks for itself. So I like the high key. It doesn't bother me. It's just a cool shot.
there's an antiquity in here, and there's a grace and simplicity, a really wonderful still life, and this intriguing flow of electricity being substituted by water pipes that are lighting that light bulb. So it's a hydroelectric thing, and there's a lot of voltage going through there. So it's a joke, it's a reality, and it's a very well constructed and composed print.
Thank you very much.
There's humor in the image,
Yes.
which I really find appealing. And technically, there's nothing to take away from it. It's great technically, and I like the humor.
Yeah, and I
Thank
think you can't leave out the technical part. I agree with all of that, but this photographer spent a lot of time with a dark room and some very gentle light, and really made this whole composition work really beautifully.